Hello, Mets fan here in the Philippines. I do have my headphone on, listening to the after show, but this is a good day to be a Mets fan. 10-2 against the Detroit Tigers. It was exciting. Before today, we were the last place team in runs scored in the whole league, tied again with the Giants. We're facing the last place team in the AL Central, but then again, the American League is weak. They're 3 games behind. That's how bad the American League is. They have a lot of players on the injured list. Screwball, Torres, to name a few. But at the same time, the Tigers, they had the second lowest chase rate entering the game. So it was going to be hard to get them out. And sure enough, in the first 3 innings, you could see Freddie Peralta struggling. I found that there was a lot of pitches accumulating on him. At the same time, the opponent pitcher, Jack Flaherty, you could see it as well. And one thing that I mentioned, I believe I mentioned it also yesterday on my video on AJ Ewing, I say Bichete needs to take the first pitch. On the first at-bat that he did, he took it. Gary Cohen said it. He should be doing that, or he hasn't done that for a period of time. And at that point, I felt that this team could take over, because we have to look at the way the team is, the way you could beat the other opponent pitcher. One is scoring a lot of runs, of course, beating them up, or slowly beating them up and letting them out, exit the game before he could reach 5-6 innings, which that's what happened. It's not just the runs produced, but it's the accumulation of all these pitches that were done to that pitcher. Here's other things that I took notes. As we know, AJ Ewing's debuted. There's a lot of firsts on this day. The player that was optioned, once again, I mentioned this beforehand, and the Ibanez got designated for assignment. I had a feeling that he's going to be the player that was going to be sent, since AJ Ewing has played second at times, so that makes it more flexibility in the infield. Simeon, I like Simeon. He's going to be our second baseman. No ifs, nor buts for this year, next year. And as a matter of fact, he was the last hitter to get on base today. The whole lineup got on base. Melendez, he got a walk to get on base. He's the only one that didn't get a hit, but everybody got on base. I believe it was 13 hits total combined. Then they had to get the Tigers to tap out and put a position player to pitch. He basically was throwing balls, but the umpire was calling them strikes against Torrance. You can't complain. We were already winning 10-2. MJ Melendez and Alvarez, they were the 2 players that did the challenge call. And right now, by the way, Carlos Mendoza's talking. But he's talking about the quality of bat of AJ Ewing, and I need to cover that as well. But the challenge calls, they were iffy, but at the same time, both of them got on base. The challenge calls, they thought they were balls, but both of them were strikes. We lost the challenges. Melendez got on base. Alvarez got a base hit, I believe so, that plate. He did get injured on one plate appearance. Right after that, Singer, who hit a home run in the minor leagues, because I was watching also the minor league game. Not watching, but looking at the box, because both games were at the same time. That one went extra innings. As soon as he got injured, they took out Singer out of the lineup and they put the backup. He hit a home run. He's not hitting that good in the minors, but he's going to be the one that's going to replace Alvarez. We all know Singer. Singer's pretty good at defense. I like him as a defensive player. And now we have Torrance and Singer. Another thing that I want to cover. There's a lot of things to cover. I did mention what I felt the lineup should be, with Carson Bench being the leadoff. Good. I didn't believe that Melendez should be batting third. Good. Soto was third. Vientos was fourth. Fifth was Melendez. But they still put Melendez there, which I thought should have been all the way to the end. He's talking about Francisco Alvarez right now going to the MRI tomorrow. I believe Lindor is also going there. I know I'm going to be jumping because I'm listening to what he's saying. The Syracuse game went to extra innings. Like I said, Singer, he then was subbed. One thing that I was covering about the lineup, I thought that AJ Ewing should have batted last, but they put him ahead, batting 8, and then they put it Alvarez. It started making sense when the game was happening, why it was being done. One, it avoids a double play. It's harder to double play with Ewing running. Alvarez is the leader in double plays that they get double plays, 10 during the season, the most in Major League. So it made sense having Ewing there. Not only that, it makes sense having Carson Bench behind him. Basically, Alvarez is sandwiched out of the speedsters of the team. Even though he got subbed and Torres got walked, it was a 2-2 count, but when Torres came in, he got the walk. You could tell that, it wasn't that play, it was another play. I believe it was afterwards that Ewing or somebody was running and it avoided the double play. It was a forced play to second. And you could see how the hustle and everything eliminates the double play. That is very important on the way the lineup got structured. I gotta give credit to Mendoza or whoever did the lineup that avoided that he sandwiched the Alvarez. Not only that, with the speedsters. I forgot what I was going to cover on that. Not only that, but I'll cover other things that I took notes. AJ Ewing got the stolen base. The team had 19 stolen bases for the season so far, third lowest in the NL. We now have a speedster, 2 speedsters, him and Benge. Benge, he went 2 for 5, 1 run, 1 RBI. His average went up to 215. Great. AJ Ewing, 1 for 2. 2 runs, 3 RBIs, 3 walks, a combined 4 full counts between the 2 players. That is the thing that I was mentioning about Jack Flaherty, how you could eliminate that starter. You gotta foresee 2 things of eliminating the starter early. Number 1, you go to the relief pitching on that game. Number 2, that relief pitchers are burned out for the next game or the following game that you don't have to face them again. I'll give an example. Peralta recovered and we had to use 2 relief pitchers, our 2 best relief pitchers. How good are those relief pitchers of Rayleigh and Warren? Rayleigh had a 1.13 ERA at the end of the game and Warren had a .82 ERA. Yeah, we used them. Warren is not going to be available, but we also saved the rest of our bullpen of Rossavon, Weaver, Williams, Myers, and then we have, I believe, Kimbrough and Manaya afterwards, which doesn't bother. Another thing that I noticed that Gary Cohen did mention is that you could see how Jack Flaherty's his demeanor changed after allowing a walk or allowing balls and so on. Shamana has that same demeanor that it drops. And you could see it with Peralta. Peralta has that demeanor of trying to get out of it. A ball went to third base. They threw it to third base. It was wild. It went to the backstop. The runner ran to home. The good thing is that the umpire was there and it got blocked and it slowed down the runner. But Peralta being in the back as a backup to get the ball and to really at home for Francisco Alvarez and get him out, I believe that Manaya wouldn't have done that. It's that determination of trying to get out of something that you created by yourself. There were 2 runs already by the second inning. Peralta was already cornered. That's the way I felt. But he got out of it. Something that, like I said, Manaya doesn't have. That McLean does have. And those are the things that we see Clay Holmes has. All right, back to the main subject. Like I said, Torrance walks, the sandwich of Alvarez, stolen base, the 1-for-2 for AJ Ewing, 2 runs, 3 RBIs, 3-3-2 counts. Excellent. That's 12 pitches that the opponent pitcher has to do. Another thing that I like is, who was the pitcher? De La something, De Jesus was pitching. He's lefty. I was surprised. They left Ewing to bat. Usually they try to put a specialist. They say that Carlos Mendoza said they're going to let him play. Not use a lefty specialist on him. That at bat, he got that triple. One thing that I like about that triple about it, he was running to second. He wasn't running full blast to first, then he ran full blast to second, but he did not look to the outfield where the ball was at. He looked to third base. He looked at the coach. I like that. He looked at the coach directed him third base, and he went all out to third. That's this triple. Beatty was at first. I believe he was first. He scored the run. Now, we gotta understand that in the right field, he bobbled the ball, but that's very important. On one of the plays, I think Carson Bates was running a second, or Ewing, one of them. And this is one thing that we have to take notice, is speed is key and important. The third baseman, let me look at his name. The third baseman, I forgot his name, Walkman, something like that. I forgot his name. The third base, I believe it was Torrance, the runner. He was running straight to third, which he has to. He got the ball. He had to lob it. I believe the lob, the wild pitch, the error was created by 2 reasons. One, the runner, and number 2, the runner that was running to second. That speed. He threw it. He error, run scored, and Bichete was running to first. He also was safe. That's what speed does. Man, I was so excited about this game. I'm not gonna lie. Peralta, like I said, 6 innings, 2 runs, 7 strikeouts, second start in a row that he wins a game. Beforehand, he only won at the opener. I feel that momentum. With you in here, I feel momentum. I followed it with the Angels, I forgot the other team, the Rockies, and it went a little bit downhill with the Diamondbacks, with Soto and Bichette going 0 for 10 each. But this time they both 3 for 9, I believe 3 for 9 combined. So that's great. Everybody was doing good. Other notes that I want to cover is this is the first time that we have 2 rookies in the outfield. And these are notes that I listen Cohen and I try to write them down. And this is the first time they have 2 rookies since 2021 when we had Vanicio Vargas and Khalil Lee. That was in 2021 of May. We have the lowest runs, but with these 10 runs, I'm pretty sure we're no longer tied for last. The other things is Simeon had the best average with runners in scoring position this season for the Mets, a 342. He did leave some players on base, but those are things that I like seeing. Other notes is this is one that I feel that if you look behind the baseball card, it doesn't make sense what's going on with the Mets. 17 out of the 19 players. The OPS is lower right now than in the previous years, meaning that it's not only one player, it's everybody besides Melendez and Jung out of the 17 out of 19, the two players that actually are doing above their OPS. So I see some light. That doesn't mean that we might make the playoffs. That doesn't mean that we're going to be very competitive, but I see the light of us improving. Once again, like I said, Soto and Bichete 0 for 10 each, 3 for 9 today. The first Met to hit a triple on their debut, AJ Ewing. The youngest outfielder since 2009. That was Fernando Martinez back then. And Ewing is the first Met to have 3 walks in his debut. Those are key things. Our next 2 games are going to be Valdez against Scott. I did say I didn't make a mistake on my other videos that I thought it was a 10-game suspension. It was a 5-game. So he's pitching against Christian Scott. And then we have Montero against McLean on the early day, on the following day. As for down in the minors, I do like looking certain times in the minors on our next layer. And the next layer of prospects that we have is Jack Winiger. He lowered his ERA to a 1.08, 5 innings, 7 strikeouts today. Like I said, it went to extra innings. There was no win or loss for him. Clifford, he went 1 for 5, 1 RBI. He has a 250 average, not that great. Nick Moravilio, 0 for 5, 1 walk, 250 average also. And once again, if you lower the layer on other prospects that I like to look, is Elian Pena, 303 in St. Louis. That's our single A. Overall, I like this game. We won. It was exciting. Christian Scott, that's tomorrow's game. AJ Ewing, that discipline was marvelous. If you watch the game, you notice that discipline was top notch. He could have stroken out, just like Torres when he came in relief Alvarez. He could have stroken out twice, swinging at a bad pitch, but he didn't. Gotta give him credit for that. That was excellent. Other notes that I want to cover on that is our outfield is set. I don't know about Luis Roberts. Right now, my mind was not thinking of them until right now that I said that. But this is a great outfield. People tested Carson Benchar. It looked great. In right field, AJ Ewing in center, and Juan Soto in left. Excellent. As for Francisco Alvarez, like I said, I don't know about the injury, how the MRI tomorrow is going to be. They're going to check also on Francisco Lindor. They say that tomorrow they're going to find out how his injury is improving or when is the projected day that he's going to come in. Last time I checked, it was going to be late June. So now we're hopeful that it might be earlier. And that's really going to put some speed on this lineup if he comes in. Because you can already foresee the lineup of him, Soto, Bichete, Bench, the way he's hitting. If he continues, nobody's going to move him out of the leadoff spot unless it's AJ Ewing. But AJ Ewing right now, the sandwich of the catcher, I didn't think about that until the second or third at bat. I was like, oh, it makes sense now. It makes sense. Anyways, let's go Mets. It was a great night to be a Mets fan. Thank you and thank you for watching. Hopefully you like my video. Give it a thumbs up. And that's all I got. Thank you.